Hey Joyce, thanks for having us here this morning to see Boughey. We've seen him out here. He looks fantastic. How is he in himself?
Yeah, he's in great form. Look, I'd be as comfortable as I would going into a very big week, but he's made my job very easy. So he's done all of his serious work, and we couldn't be much happier with him.
And how's he been throughout the winter?
He's been good. Didn't have a huge amount of time off. He was very fresh through the back end of the winter last year, and so yeah, he's been on the forehand from the word go really, and touch wood, he hasn't had a setback. So yeah, look, we're very comfortable where he is.
And you mentioned that's kind of key. We've had leading contenders go by the wayside. The sad loss of Guineas and Publish, and now Zavateri out. So getting to the races needs a bit of stroke of luck as well.
Yeah, 100%. I probably bored Henry Morshead, my assistant, to tears all winter, saying, it's crazy with a classic prep for a Guineas. You just need to get there in the condition that you want them in. We were very keen to do that with Cachet, and she got there, and a lot of horses don't. So we're still not there. He's got a week, and a week is a very long time in a horse's life. So, but at the moment, we couldn't be happier.
Just take you back to that newbie debut. I mean, it caught so many people's eye, of course. Did it surprise you?
I think the fashion he did it in surprised us. Our horses aren't really asked a question on debut, and he wasn't asked a question. So to do what he did, in a field that at the time a few people were pretty high on their horses. Sam Haggis, who's a great friend and bloodstock agent, works very closely with me. He said that his time was very good, and when horses record that sort of time on debut, it's pretty taking. So he had the work behind him, the pedigree and the performance on the track to give us hope that he could be a horse who could play his trade at the top level.
And then at Haydock, very professional in the ascendant, obviously bumping into Publish and dismissing him.
Yeah, a funny race that day. It wouldn't be a sort of race that typically we'd target with a horse like him who's got a lot of pace, and he possibly hit the front a little bit too soon, and Publish came to him and then he found again. So he showed tenacity that day, and he's a horse who he's got the figures in the bank, who's run good times and pretty good races. So he was good that day.
And he's proven that he can handle the track as well, and the dip in the Royal Lodge.
Yeah, a very well balanced horse. From the word go, he'd worked through the dip before he'd run, and he showed a very good turn of foot there. And it was just trying to harness it on debut. Obviously, a flat track is probably preferable for him, but the fact that he handles it and he's an agile horse is something that a lot of people don't know when they come to the Guineas. They might not have run at Newmarket, so at least we know that.
You've had a Guineas win, obviously, with cash at a bigger price. This is a favourite. How do you feel? Is there any more pressure on you this time?
Well, I think naturally there's probably more pressure. I don't think we feel it differently, but it means a huge amount to me. It means a huge amount to all of my team to get the horse there in the condition he's in. So it's been a difficult couple of weeks. I think I've been quite hard work, but I think that's only because it means so much, and hopefully he can get there in that condition. And I never dreamt of having a favourite for 2,000 Guineas, so we just need to make sure we're doing the job properly.
And apart from the obvious, how would this fella compare to Cachet?
This horse has got a real turn of foot, where Cachet, obviously she was a very good filly, but the one thing that I wanted to do with her was to try and make all, and this horse, I hope that's not how we'll be trying to ride him. She was a one-pace miler, but a very good miler. It was about sort of getting into a rhythm with her, and James and I had a real plan as to where we wanted to kick and how was the best chance of us holding on in a Guineas, whereas this horse, I think, will be ridden for the final furlong or two and ridden for his turn of foot. So as much as I think they're both milers, and that's probably their trip, they are very different entities.
And just a word on
obvious.
And just a word on Billy Loughnane as well. Obviously, a massive ride for him. He's won a German Group 1, first chance for domestic Group 1 as well.
Yeah, Billy's he was knocking on the door in Group 1s, and it opened with the Great Rebels Romance last year, and but I think as a English-based rider, I think it's all about these big Group 1s here, and I've got huge belief in Billy, and he's put a lot of work into this horse. He was in Monday morning riding him, and he's galloped him every time he's worked, and Billy's a huge part of the team, and I feel like we've sort of grown together, to be fair. And he's obviously flying along and riding for the right people now, and our relationship is something that I cherish, really, and I think it enables him to ride with huge confidence.
And obviously, go back to Boughey, he's bred for a mile. He looks all about a mile, but he did win a Royal Lodge. Would there be from you thought about suggesting stepping him up in trip, because there is a £2 million bonus if he could win a Triple Crown?
He's not a horse who will stay well, I don't think. He could have entries in 10 following races later in the year, and I think it would be wrong for me not to enter him in those races. But he's a horse who's shown a huge amount of pace. I don't want to step him up unless we feel it's necessary.
Best of luck, George. Thanks for today.
Cool. Thanks so much.